So I'm calling this black bears, 3 little black bears. And it's a cute little wildlife painting that I just completed a couple of days ago while we're stuck here in quarantine, March 2020. Yay! Luckily we're in a nice house. We're not like in some people having to be stuck in an apartment. We're out in the countryside, so I can go walk out in well, basically the farmland, not have to worry about anything. But I've been doing a lot of painting. I'm sure there's a lot of other people posting YouTube stuff too, because we're just stuck inside a lot more than we're used to. So as you can see right now, I'm blocking in a whole big chunks of where the animals are going to go. On my screen to the right I have different reference materials of different bears that I have liked the positions of. This was a big mistake. I really thought I was going to do this third bear, but he ended up not looking like a bear, because I wanted a little cute little bear looking out at the viewer, but instead he sort of had the face of a monkey, and a monkey bear isn't quite what I was going for. So I had to like just sort of erase him and try again. Had to be something different, because that's not working for me. That's one thing you learn as you're an artist, is when you're not just copying something but you're really creating a new thing, you have to figure out all these little technical details of what works where. This was a big deal, and it's just a big deal when you're really taking and working at different projects. The original picture, that was a pine tree, that all these bears are in pine trees, and I went ahead and changed it out to this like birch wood, something with a papery bark to it, and decided instead to go ahead and work on my background. So I'm blocking in all the green area behind it, give it a nice coat while my brain thinks about how I'm going to do, what am I going to do for that third bear, or am I even going to have a third bear? Maybe I don't need a third bear. So I have to think about it for a little while. Sometimes I'll take the paintings and let them sit for, I don't know, just a little while and see how it happens. So I had a lot of blue up top, but I knew I didn't really want the blue there. I just wanted it to be seen behind the canopy. So you have to first put in some blue, and then you can layer on some other colors. So that's what I'm doing right now, is just letting it dry a few minutes and then doing more and more layers of color. So I've got the trees there, I've got the greenery blocked in. Now I can go ahead and darken up some layers. This bear on the right is a little bit too thin, so I'm going to have to like thicken him up a little bit. I like this top bear a lot. He's got a nice personality, sitting on top of the tree like he's, I'm going to get my brother. Now I could have just added some darkness to the left hand side and left it with the two bears to compensate for it, but I found this other bear with just a little bit of himself poking out, and I thought, wow, that works. That little bear is going to be a nice addition right there. It really is a lot more layers than most people realize when you're doing greenery, to give it the right sense of depth in the canopy. Now, the funny thing with black bears that I learned is that the cubs are really not black. They really have lots of layers of browns, and they have like a black shine to them, but they have all their highlights around their armpits and their ears and their mouth, and their bellies are much lighter tan colored, and each one of them varies up a lot. So it was real interesting just learning about the anatomy of a black bear and their fur coat. And how much the black bears actually climb in trees. They just hang out in these big trees even as they get a lot bigger than this. I know later on I'm going to do another mama bear and baby bear combo, or maybe even one just laying in a tree. I think that would be really cool too. Oh, and I definitely want to do a black bear in a field of grass and eating dandelions, because apparently they eat tons and tons of dandelions. It's one of their main food sources when they come out of hibernation, is all that dandelion is good. I've always heard that humans can eat it, but apparently bears really do love their dandelion salad. So I decided to really make this tree look like it's broken up here at the top. So I'm having to go in and make this birch wood much lighter than I originally had it, and using a big paintbrush to make it sort of like that papery bark that's peeling off a little bit. The original tree was definitely a pine tree. I always try to get and wrap the canvas and paint around all the edges of the canvas. I think it's better because sometimes people don't frame them and you can see it from all angles, and it just looks a lot more finished if it has like the continuing of the tree up to the top or whatever, the little bear hanging off the side. I use a really small little flat tip brush to do my detailing work, and that helps a lot with getting the fur. I just angle it and get the fur right. And it's a small flat tip, and it just sort of like can go backwards and forth a bunch of times, so that gives you that fur look. At first this top bear looked a little bit too ruffly, like this fur looked all scratchy, so I had to go back and try to tame it down a little bit. It really looked scratchy in the picture, but it just didn't look right when I brought it out. And his eye was a little bit too Asiatic for, it didn't have enough curve to it, so I had to like go back and fix his eyeball some too. And his snout was too small for my original drawing. So if you look at it right now, his snout looks really short, and in the final product I went ahead and lengthened him a little bit. I just didn't think it was quite long enough. The biggest thing with a tree when you're doing this broken top piece is to make sure you get it light enough that you can see the difference between the inside and the outside of the tree. You can tell that I'm constantly trying to get light coming in from the left-hand side of the picture, so I'm lightening up on the rear of the bear and where the claws of the second bear is at, so that I can get that light shining down on the bear without having a strong focused light. Right here I realized that my camera was focused more on my hair, and it got a little bit blurry in the picture, and I'm gonna have to go back and next time I do a painting I'm gonna really check and make sure it's not blurring out, because when I would flip the canvas and bring it back, it would blur it out. It's like, ugh. But this is only the 5th video that I've recorded, so I'm learning as I go. If you have any questions and comments, I'd love to hear what you have to say. Anything you have, please like and share my videos. You can go to my Instagram or my webpage. It's Sonya, S-O-N-Y-A, Studio, S-T-U-D-I-O. My Facebook page is The Art of Sonya, S-O-N-Y-A, Allen, A-L-L-E-N. Oh, I'm fixing the nose now. Trying to lengthen it just a little bit. Needs more. Needs to be longer. The nose needs to be longer than the jaw, because the lips of a bear protrude a lot. Well, thank you, and please like and share. Hope you enjoy and watch the rest of my wildlife videos. I also have a whole series on cats and dogs, little pets, fish, and a series on motorcycles.